Hey guys, I am back. This is Kwak, one of the Kwak Brothers, and welcome back to the 21 Days of Mental Detox Challenge. I apologize, guys. I've been gone away. I was actually in Los Angeles, right? Had some really great time with some good friends and great people that I got to meet, and the warm weather because here in Chicago it's like 35 degrees right now, I believe, and Los Angeles was like 75 and 55 at night. So it was super perfect. Loved being out there. And I'll be back again in about 2 weeks. But let's continue our series here with day 14. The last time we talked about building multiple streams of income. And I got some really exciting videos coming out really soon, okay, about multiple streams of income. But we're going to talk about the one thing today. And I'm borrowing this idea from the book literally called The One Thing by Gary Keller. So if you guys have not read that book, I definitely recommend it. It changed my universe, my world on how I make my money, and help me 10x my income. So definitely check out The One Thing by Gary Keller, but I'm gonna give you guys more of a synopsis and more of an application for this video on why it matters. So for those who are brand new, who are just watching this, who are new subscribers, you guys have no idea what I'm doing here. The reason why I built this 21 Days of Mental Detox Challenge, today we're day 14, is kind of more of a response to what's going on in the world, right? I mean, you look at social media, you look at the news, you look at pretty much the headline, right? A lot of it is negative. A lot of it is criticisms. A lot of it is hates. A lot of it is going back and forth, political attacks. So, I thought, this can't be good, right? This just cannot be good for our mental health, right? I think I read a published article by a health journal saying that the millennials are in a constant anxiety because of the level of negativity and the headlines that we get to read, right, through social media. So this isn't good for our health. It really isn't. So all the negativity, all the political things that are happening around the world, this video series is more of a response to that. So while there's a lot of negativity, one of my mission and philosophy for this video series is to deliver content that is nothing but positive, motivational, inspirational, and give you guys that extra nudge to help you guys become more successful in whatever you do, whether you're following us for real estate investing, for business development, or you just think we're awesome, which, by the way, thank you. So this is a video response to help you guys have more positivity in your life. And I hope that you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel just because we're trying to push more positivity, more motivation, more inspiration, and more valuable content to help you guys be more productive in life. So today our topic is the one thing, and this is something that I've learned over time, which has served me very, very well. And this kind of comes with the 80-20 rule, which is also known as the Pareto principle, which basically says that 20% of what you do daily, right? 20% of things that you focus on or you think about, 20% of things that you do actually create 80% of the result. The basic premises of this idea is that not everything is important, right? It just can't be. If everything is important, then nothing is important. So the idea is that only the few things in your life, the few things that you do every single day is really important. So we have to decide what is that one important thing that creates 80% of our results, right? So to give you an idea, in our business world, right, in business and real estate investing, whatever business industry that you choose yourself to put in, the number one thing that I would have to say that is the most important aspect in business is dealing with your customers, right? Getting more customers into your business. Because think about it. If you focus all of your attention and energy in building the best website possible, I mean, yeah, it helps to some degree in getting more customers, but really your focus should be on getting more customers. Because if you don't have customers, right, you don't generate revenue, there's no income, right? One of my good mentors said, your income is the lifeblood of your business. So if there's no blood running through your business, okay, if there's no blood running through your body, you're essentially dead, right? Same thing with your business. If there's no income, there's no revenue coming through the business is as good as dead. So what you want to do is you want to pay attention, focus on building your customer base. You really want to focus on bringing in more customers, though getting more, building a better website might seem important to some of you guys, but we really have to focus on that one thing, which is getting more customers, right? There's a saying that sales cure all, meaning if you have a problem in your business, okay, sales, more customers can definitely help you solve those challenges, right? You might be saying, well, my website kind of sucks. I need to change it, but it's going to cost me $5,000 to fix it. And if you're just, that's all you're wondering about, right? That's all you're focused about. You should change your focus to how do I get more customers, right? So, because the more customers you get, the more sales you bring in, you'll have more money to deal with those types of problems. So I like to call them my pillar stone problems. Like, what are the few problems or issues or challenges in my life that dictate 80% of the results in my business and my life, right? If we're talking about relationships, right? What is the 20% activity / of being in the relationship that controls the entire relationship? So, like, example, right? If you're married like me, you have to go back and think, like, what are the 20% activities? What are the 20% of things that I got to do to create 80%, like the massive results in that marriage, right? And I have to focus on. I also have to focus on what that means for my wife, right? Because what I believe to be is the 20% activity may not be the same as what my wife considers to be the 20% activity. So my one thing to push that relationship to the next level has to be in the same level as what my wife believes to be the one thing. If we're talking about, let's say, your spirituality. So for me, I'm being a Christian. The 20% activity that I got to really focus on is praying and reading the Bible, right? Everything else kind of falls into place if you do just those two things. And I really love this example. When if you guys are a big fan of the Bible, like I am, you guys know exactly where I'm going with this. But Jesus says, someone asks Jesus, teacher, rabbi, what are the most important, like, what are the important rules and laws that we're going to follow, right? Out of all the Moses commandments, right? Because for those who are fans of the Bible, you guys understand that the rules that were given to Moses, it was like multiple pages long, right? So people asked Jesus, what is the most important rule in the commandments? Like, what is the most important thing that we got to do? Basically, what they were asking Jesus is, what is that one thing we got to do to make sure that we're like kosher, right? So Jesus answered back with two rules, right? Two rules, quote unquote. They're really the one rule in my world. But the two rules that Jesus gives in reply, he says, love your God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, with all your body, right? And rule number 2 is love your neighbor as thyself. So Jesus basically said, hey, those are the two things that you're going to follow. If you just do those two things, right, everything will kind of fall into its place. Instead of having to focus on like 1,000 rules, right, in the Old Testament, right? Jesus gives his disciples and the teachers of the law two things, right? Love God and love your neighbors. So clearly Jesus understood the 80-20 rule. He understood the one thing, right? He understood that if you just do that, right, everything kind of falls into place. So you kind of have to examine in your life, like, what is the one thing in different aspects of my life that's going to make a whole lot of difference and a lot of changes and a lot of good things to my life, right? So for applying this to your health, right, what is that one thing you're going to do to maintain your health, right? Is it your diet? Is it your exercise? I mean, what do you have to do? So every one of you guys are unique and special in your own way. You kind of have to custom tailor to what is the most important thing for you guys that makes everything go around. Okay. So I like to call it the circuit breaker because let's say your house is out of electricity, right? And chances are, the first place you're going to look is your circuit breaker, right? / your panel, because your panel controls all the electricity in your house. But let's say you're like, man, there's no electricity. Let me check that outlet right there, right? And you check the outlet doesn't work. All right, I'm going to go check that outlet. Let's see if that outlet works. Let's check that outlet. Let's see. Like, you have to check all the outlets to realize, oh crap, the breaker is broken, right? But if you just focus on, okay, the breaker is a problem, then you go right to the breaker and like, ta-da, right? You fix the entire electricity of the entire house. So before I end this video, ask yourself this question, guys. What is the one thing in different aspects of my life that would change everything and would transform my life, right? Let's talk about health, your spiritual life, your relationships, your business, your money, your financials, right? Examine those things. Like Aristotle once said, examine thyself. right? Examine and test all things. So kind of ask yourself a question, right? Ask yourself a question. What is that one thing that's going to change everything for my business, for my relationships, for my finances, for my spiritual life, for my relationships, everything, right? Because we have 24 hours a day. We can't necessarily fuss over little details and all these little things. But what we can focus on are the important things, the cornerstone, the breaker switch of our life that can change and dramatically change what we see and what we believe and what we do in our life. So guys, that's pretty much in this video. To remind you guys again, please just subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll really appreciate you guys, which by the way, I hope you guys had a phenomenal holidays, phenomenal Merry Christmas. And so tomorrow it's gonna be day 15 and we're gonna go and talk about the core, and I'll explain what that means tomorrow. So guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Have a good night. And we're closing on New Year's. So happy New Year's, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Take care.